So let's just begin our practice today, starting by quieting our bodies, our minds, our souls. Sitting in any seat that feels good to you. If Sukhasana is good for your body, cross-legged position, please sit this way. You can sit with your legs out if that feels good to you as well. Or always the option of bringing a block in between your legs or a bolster for Virasana. Just a little bit of a different seat here, and it helps with stretching out of your feet. So whichever one feels good to you to begin your practice. Whichever seat that you're in, closing your eyes, allowing your shoulders to come up and a little bit further back on your body. Creating space from your sits bones, from your spine, your seat, all the way up through the crown of your head, reaching up with your crown as if like there's a string going down through the crown of your head, your neck, your spine, and connecting into the earth. So straight, working on our posture, pulling your chin back, allowing your jaw to relax. A lot of tension can be correlated between our jaw and the rest of our body. So encouraging that relaxation in your jaw. Beginning to breathe. Bringing your deep inhales all the way through your upper chest, diaphragm, lower belly area, and expanding into your belly area as much as you possibly can. Deep inhales, and as you exhale from your belly, diaphragm, upper chest. Deep inhales, exhales, calling upon that parasympathetic area in our nervous system. Telling our bodies, our minds, our spirits that it's okay to just relax, to let go, and become a little bit less of the world right now and more, turn a little bit more inward. Filling up as completely as you can and exhaling just as fully. Time to think about our intention, personal intention, something that you're needing personally, that you want to bring light to, growth to, that perhaps you might be struggling with. Stating that intention to yourself, whatever it may be, and coming back to that personal intention throughout our practice as much as you need to, as well as off of our mats. Bringing that thought, that mind to personal intentions is very powerful. Our minds do wonderful things and are very powerful. I'm going to continue the thought for our class intention of gratitude. Being thankful for what it is that we have in our lives. Through the thick, through the thin, through the good and the bad. And taking some time to maybe humble ourselves as we go through our practice today and really think about gratitude and what it means to you. I'll bring some thoughts in. And if they resonate with you, wonderful. And if not, just latch onto what it is that you personally need. A few more deep inhales and exhales. And if your eyes were closed, let's just open them and begin to move just a little bit. Whatever seat you're in, either bringing your hands to your knees or to the side of your body, or wherever feels good to you. And let's begin to take our spinal circles, the Sufi grind. Deep inhale as we move to the front, and exhale as we move to the back. Beginning to move that energy that's inside of our bodies with asanas, poses. And taking this movement as quickly or as slowly as you feel is good for you. Always inhaling through your mouth, through your nose, and exhaling either through your mouth or your nose, whatever feels good to you. And switching it up, let's go the opposite direction. Inhale as we're going to the front, exhaling to the back, or maybe exhaling to the front and inhaling to the back. A little bit of a variation there, whatever you need. Coming back to neutral and coming side to side. Deep inhales, go to one side, and exhales, go to the other side. Good job. Bringing it at the diagonal up to one knee and back to the opposite hip. And trying to keep your sits bones rooted into the ground as we're doing these poses or these movements. Having that base, let's go to the opposite knee, opposite hip. Breathing in, inhale and exhale. When you feel ready, coming back into neutral position, moving in any which way that feels good to you, settling your body back into the neutral area. And when you feel ready, let's inhale those arms out and up, beginning to move our upper body. Exhale, back down. Inhale, out and up, and exhale. Back down, encouraging this movement, bringing that energy from your shoulders all the way through your arms and your fingertips. And inhale all the way up. Let's keep our hands up to the sky this time. Palms facing towards your midline, still encouraging that energy here. Up through your arms. And when you feel ready, we're going to drop our left hand down to our right knee and just keep our right arm up to the sky here. A little bit of a different side bend. So keeping your body square to the front of your mat, and with your next inhale, we're going to just reach up here and gaze up. Okay, so kind of a little mini back bend here as we're reaching the left hand over, right hand up. Square to the front here just for a minute. Deep inhale and exhale. And your next inhale and exhale, maybe position yourself to that right side just a little bit more and open up here. So we were open to the front of the room at first, now we've moved to the right side. Good job. Looking up and underneath of that right arm. Good job. Deep inhale, and as we exhale, dissolve the pose, just coming out of that twist, bringing your arm down, repositioning yourself for just a minute here. Deep inhale, let's come to the other side. Bring your arms all the way up, palms facing towards the midline. Now this time, dropping your right hand down to your left knee and extending that left arm up to the sky. We're square to the front here, so our shoulders are square. Inhale, little back bend here. Take a few breaths here. And when you feel ready, then we're gonna open up to that left side. So position our shoulders so they're squared to that left side, squared over our left leg here. Inhale. And exhale. Your next inhale, exhale. Dissolve the pose, rewind, coming out of the twist. And one more movement before we come into our first restorative pose. And if it feels good to you, bringing your hands behind you. You can bring your hands behind you and just simply place them on the floor or your bolster. If you'd like to interlace your fingers behind you, that's a great option too. Wherever you're at, we're gonna inhale and open your shoulders here. So we're opening up in our heart. It's a pretty good stretch in your arms and in your shoulders, and just looking up to the sky. Heart opener, allowing your shoulders to open up and to shine that heart forward. Next inhale and exhale, release that heart opener coming out. And just moving yourself in preparation for our first restorative pose. We're going to come into supported Shavasana, but we're going to build our ramp. So grabbing your bolster or your stiff pillow, whatever it is that you have that's similar to a bolster, and then grabbing your block, and we're going to build our ramp on the lower edge of our mat here. So this is going to support our feet. So placing it on, I would actually suggest to place your bolster on, or your block on the higher mode there rather than on its side. And we're going to bring our sits bones as close up to the mat as we can. If you'd like to bring a blanket so that you can lay your head on that blanket, that's also a great option. Bolster and block, you're going to be supporting our legs. So bringing your sits bones as close to that bolster as you can, and then bringing your legs one at a time up on top of the bolster. Another great option, and if it's something that you'd like to do, and remembering that we will be in this pose for about 5 minutes or more, you can also bind your legs if you have a strap or a belt nearby, or just even a blanket by just wrapping your blanket around. Inhaling deeply, just really extending in your body right here, creating that space before we lay down. And as we exhale, carefully just lie down. Maybe shimmy your sits bones, your bottom a little bit closer to that bolster if you moved away. Legs are up here, they're supported by your bolster, your block. And our arms, let's place our arms at the T to begin with. And let's start with our palms facing up towards the sky. Settling yourself into this mini inversion here, just a different way of doing Shavasana. Always a different perspective when we have our legs up above our heart. Rooting into the ground with your shoulders, maybe your lower back, and allowing your props to support you as much as possible. And possibly taking a full body scan here, just noticing how your body is feeling at the beginning of your practice. Starting from your head, moving down over your eyes, maybe allowing those eyes to fall just a little bit further back in their sockets. Jaw is relaxed, possibly bringing your tongue up to where your teeth and your top of your palate meet here. That helps to release any tension there. Shoulders, allow them to just sink down and into the ground. Along your back, sacrum area, and legs, feet. Keeping yourself in this first restorative pose for the next little while. And coming back to your intention personally, or one of gratitude for our practice today as a class. Preparing with humility and gratitude during this month, beginning this holiday season. This year it's going to be different than any other year that we've perhaps experienced. We may or may not be able to be with our loved ones as much. Maybe bringing the thought of, instead of being unhappy or unappreciative, bringing the thought of bringing that appreciation and that awareness to the fact that we do have loved ones. Near and far, we have technology to be able to connect us. Bringing your breath, allowing your breath to help in these poses. Opening up in those channels that we've talked about. Channels, the energy ways that run through our body. And perhaps finding an area that might feel stuck, a little congested, a little foggy. Through your breath, as well as intention, as well as movement, we can do a lot to heal ourselves from the inside and to the outside. Powerful way of our minds, what we think about, a lot of that is manifested in our bodies, our minds. Bringing gratitude in every single day. I heard a really great thought, and there's actually a book about it. It says, bringing honey into your heart. The sweetness, of honey. It can help bring anything food-wise to be a little bit sweeter, to be a little bit more delicious, turning bitter into sweetness. Perhaps thinking about that through this season, honey in our hearts. If you'd like to bring the palms of your hands down to the ground, so just internally rotating your palms down, a little bit different method here. Variation. Your next inhale, exhale. Quietly start to move just a little bit in your body. And when you feel ready, just carefully taking your legs off of your bolster, rolling onto one side or another, and pushing yourselves up back into a seated pose. We're going to come into a counter pose here. So we've been laying back. We're going to come into our favorite forward folds. Bringing a little bit of a variation here. A little bit different stretch into our legs as we're doing this. So removing your ramp and just placing it to the side for just a minute. Grabbing your blanket or pillow, whatever it is you'd like to use, and placing this underneath of our seat. I like to place the corner of my blanket right in between my sits bones area. Again, this helps with the position of our pelvis here, and it helps encourage the pelvis to tilt down towards the floor instead of being back up. And that's sometimes where a lot of the pain in our back can come from in our forward folds. So perhaps if you're still feeling maybe a little bit of tightness here, very uncomfortable as we're doing our forward folds, maybe think about adding another blanket on top of that, the one that you're already sitting on. So it gives us more height here. A little bit better with the downward position. And when you feel ready, grabbing your bolster or your prop, whatever it is that you have, we're going to open up our right leg and keep our left leg positioned in front of us as if we were in Sukhasana. So left leg is bent, right leg is positioned out straight in front of us, okay? 2 ways to do this for different body types. You can place your bolster on your right leg, your leg that's extended, or you can place your bolster on the inside or the outside of that extended leg, okay? So if you have the bolster on top, maybe even a block, if you need that height, we're going to fold over to that right side. And we're gonna encourage just the right side of our body to fold over right here. Okay, we're not going to square, we're just going to have the right side of our body so that our shoulders are still open. So we're getting a stretch here in that right side here. So here's this option. And if you placed your bolster on the inside or outside, just placing your head on the side so that your shoulders are still open here. Okay, so instead of squaring like we usually do, we're actually going to just rest our head or our body, whatever you have with your bolster, on that right side here. So just position yourself in a way that feels comfortable to you. If this is hard with just your shoulder being open, you can square if that helps you to rest a little bit more. Side body stretch here. We're also helping the encouragement of our legs to find that sensation, to find that stretch. Maybe your extended leg needs to be bent just a little bit. You can place a blanket underneath there. Just finding the position that works best for your body. Settling into the pose wherever you're at. Finding your breath again and bringing your breath to this left side area. Or perhaps the area that may be feeling the little bit the most crunchiness right here, that might need that extra breath. Coming back to your intention. Honey in the heart, gratitude. We're not going to stay here for as long as we do in the other ones. I know these are a little bit harder on some bodies. Just finish up this side forward fold. Let's inhale. If it feels good to you, let's bring that arm, the left arm, up and over just for a few seconds. Good job. Inhale, exhale. Release your arm back down and push up out of that sideward bend there. Remove your bolster, your props, and let's bring our legs out in front of us just for a minute and shake them out. That one, I felt that one a lot in my neck. So if you need to take some neck rolls, just help with the loosening up with that tightened there. And we'll come to the other side in just a little bit. So coming off of any props that you may be may have sat on, moving them out of the way. And let's come into fish pose, Machanasana, bringing your bolster to the upper part of your mat here. So this is now going to support our upper body, but not our lower back. This is another heart opener, and we're going to position this lower end of the bolster in the mid of our back here. So you sit maybe about a feet or so away from your bolster, and just lie yourself back and making sure that your bolster hits you right in the center of your back here. You can bring some blocks into it too if that feels good. Knees or legs at the Supta Baddha Konasana, so butterfly pose. I would suggest to have a block or a bolster or a blanket or pillow to support your legs here. So our upper body is supported by our bolster in the mid of our back, opening up in our shoulders. Lower body is in that bound angle pose and blocks there to support your knees. And position your body in the way that feels good to you. Perhaps the bolster in the center of your back doesn't feel good. Maybe move all the way back into that full support of your whole entire back. Another option is perhaps moving your bolster to the horizontal position and allowing your head to hang just a little bit. Only if that feels good to you. This is kind of reminiscent to bridge pose, as well as wheel pose. It encourages opening in your back area, mid-back area, shoulders. Creating that appreciation and awareness for all that we have, all that we receive, all that we've been given. Finding that honey, that sweetness in the circumstances of our lives. No matter our circumstances, no matter our challenges or trials, there is something in each day to embrace and to even cherish. There's something or somebody in each day that can bring gratitude and joy. If only we'll take the time to see it and appreciate it. in fish pose. If it feels good to you, perhaps bringing yourself into straight-legged position. So bringing your legs out and straight, flexing and pointing. And let's inhale our arms up to the sky, palms facing each other here. A little extension, energy, space found in those arms. And let's allow the arms to come down, just kind of in like the bear hugging position. So allowing the arms to bend, allowing one to come underneath, the other to come on top, and allow your arms to come down and possibly wrap around your back. You can let them hang, or you can even bring your grip in and grab your back. So bring a little bit of energy. You can feel this in between your shoulder blades at times. If you'd like to move to the other side, if you took that bear hug position, bringing your arms back up, bringing the opposite arm underneath, other arm on top, reaching around. Breathing deeply. And exhaling. And when you feel ready, bring in your arms, unwrapping your arms, rewinding, coming back into fish pose just for a minute. Deep inhales, deep exhales. And when you feel ready, rolling on to one side or another, and just carefully pushing yourselves up out of fish pose. And coming back into that seated position, preparing for that other stretch on the other side. So this time on our left side. So grabbing your blankets or your pillows and sitting on top. Just to position your pelvis in that downward area. Downward position here. This time we're going to have our right leg bent, our left leg extended out here. And then grabbing your bolster, your blocks, whatever position you took on the other side, I would encourage you to take it on this side. Extending your left arm up and over and just hanging over to that left side if you want the bolster on your leg, or bringing the bolster up and just allowing your head to be supported by the bolster there. Again, the straight leg, your left leg may need to be bent. If that feels good to you, maybe encourage a little bit more of the straightening there. Building that, that growth there, flexibility in our legs, in our side body as well. So when you find your position, settling in and breathing deeply into that right side, opening up, finding those knotty areas, NADI, the areas that may be stuck. Bringing that breath, your prana, allowing it to move just a little bit more free. found a great quote from Mother Teresa. And she said, "The best way to show my gratitude to my God is to accept everything, even my problems, with joy." Thought that was a pretty powerful quote. Whatever higher being you believe in, showing gratitude to him or her, it, whatever it may be, is to try to accept what's been given to us. The ups, the downs, with as much joy as possible. Finding that sweetness. Here in our side bend here, bringing our right arm up and over with our next inhale, encouraging just a little bit deeper stretch. When you feel ready, bringing your right arm back down and just slowly coming up and out of our side stretch. Removing your bolster, your props from your blanket. We're going to come into downward lying position here. So belly on the mat. I always like to bring a blanket and fold it like this and fold it one over. So it's a little bit lower, but I like to position this underneath of my groin area, my lower belly area here. So perhaps placing that mid position on your mat. If you would like, you can also bring your bolster to the lower end of your mat so you can place your feet on top of that, if that feels good to your body. Getting on one side or another and just carefully helping yourselves down onto our bellies. Feet are raised or feet aren't raised, and just finding the area that feels good to you and lying down. Let's come to our right cheek for the first little bit. Arms are at the cactus pose, goalpost pose here. So arms are bent, elbows are about shoulder height, and your arms are extending up towards the top of the mat. Bringing your breath to the back side of your body now. Maybe bringing it to that sacrum area that might have been talking to you a little bit during those forward side bends. Bringing our awareness back to your own personal intention or intention of being thankful. Oprah said, "Be thankful for what you have, and when you do, you'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, never have enough." If you'd like to switch your head positions and coming on to the left side, left cheek now on the mat, encouraging that growth in the neck area. Flexibility, both sides, practicing sama, evening out, balancing out the energy inside of us. A few more thoughts about gratitude. One of my very favorites. I know I've shared it with you before, but it's just kind of fun to think about it and to bring this in. It says, "My socks might not match, but my feet are always warm." You may not have the most prettiest of things. You may be worn down, worn out. And this is including possibly our own bodies, possibly our own journeys. Maybe a mixture of lots of different things. Even though they may not be pretty, they might not be the way that you have envisioned them. Perhaps bringing that thought of gratitude even to those things that may not be exactly as we want. And when we focus on our gratitude, the tide of disappointment tends to go out. And the tide of love tends to come in, just as if we were watching the ocean's tide. And maybe even picturing that in your mind, allowing any disappointment to roll out. Encourage that love of what we have to roll in. And when you feel ready, starting to allow your body just to move just a little bit, bringing your hands underneath your shoulders. And pushing yourselves up into whatever pose it was that you started your practice in. Sitting up tall, root of your head towards the ceiling, shoulders up and back. Taking just a moment to perhaps think about your practice. Maybe take another full body scan and how your body is now feeling. Maybe your heart feels maybe just a little bit sweeter there. When you feel ready, let's bring your arms out and up, all the way up, palms together, hands down through heart center, palms in the Anjali Mudra of gratitude. The light and goodness in me honors the light and goodness in each and every one of you. Thank you for being here, taking the time for yourself. Namaste.